All right, three, two, one, boom. This, I can feel it, kids. This is the one that goes viral. I know that we have at least 10 to 11 people that on a regular basis are finding some reason to punish themselves by watching this show for its 10 to 15 minutes of absurdism. But prepare yourself. We're back here, big time Energy Boom 101. Down the rabbit hole, I think, is what we're subtitling this one. The real Energy Boom. Because it's about everything. We connect, oh, by the way, we connect crude cannabis and consciousness, one gusher at a time, one toke at a time, one mind at a time. Boy, that worked out pretty well. I'd have trademarked that one. Bip! So what you're checking out here is Hobo U. The sky's pretty frickin' strong tonight here at Boom U. And in addition to that, here's what's amazing. There's at Boom U Stadium tonight. They're hosting Norman High versus Norman North. Huge fucking crosstown clash. Now, I'm going for Norman High. I hope they win. I've been told that they don't have a great team this year. Big deal. We're moving on. We're booming on. But I just want you to know that this dispatch is turbocharged. Let's just say that. This dispatch is turbocharged because Boom U is hosting the Norman High Norman North crosstown clash. And you will get the normal bullshit here on Energy Boom 101. We try and talk about two different booms that are unfurling across the United States and around the world, basically. And we try and keep up with them as best we can as they pass through the glorious prairie upon which sits the big Boom U. And it's just a fucking beauty story. It's easy to tell. It's a writer's dream. And I'm not a writer, so that doesn't apply here. This is supposed to be a podcast, by the way, so if you've been watching now for the better part of 2 minutes and are ready to slit your wrists and run for the hills, greatest Iron Maiden song ever, you have my permission. That said, we want to let you know about a few big things that are happening, and let's start with the crude game. President Obama is meeting with one of the fucking princes or one of the kings, I think a king of Saudi Arabia. So I think everyone's having to really sort of come to the table and say, wow, it looks like U.S. shale can probably become a provider. It looks like it's legitimate. It looks like it's profitable. Now, Saudi Arabia, I think, would tell you that it's still going to peter out in 10 years, which, shit, maybe it does. I don't know. I don't understand that science. But even if that did happen, that's a 10-year economic expansion that I would enjoy reporting on. And we hope that's what can happen here from the balcony on Buchanan at Boom U. And we're going to trademark that one, a little oral trademark there. Bip. You know how the game is played. We try and make our way to the 15-minute mark and let you know about what's going on, and you realize it at 4 minutes and 20 seconds into it. Holy shit, big fucking surprise there with the symbolism. You go through a transparent barrel roll, which is unbelievable, because when you come out of it, your mind has gone through the Mobius strip, whether you want it to or not. I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. Go fuck yourself. You're going to hear that word a lot now. The good news is it's spelled P-H-U-C-K. You heard me say it. I'll say it again. Encore. P-H-U-C-K. Has a totally different meaning than the other word, so you can say it all fucking night. Now, you got Hobo U ahead of you right here. You got Boom U to the left. You got the U.S. shale versus OPEC thrilla in Manila, probably in, I don't fucking know anymore, probably around 4. A race to the bottom, and then a race to profitability for those that survive. And then a race for the profits for the next 10 years. Pretty fucking simple, I think. And I hope that we can report on it right here every night. I wouldn't go with every night. How about once every 3 years? That would be about the emotional pace the tempo I could handle right now. Get ready for this. Also in the world of crude. Boom! Can you see it right there? That is coming back to the streets of Norman, downtown Norman. Sponsored by the, well, look at this. It's on the back page. Oh, shit. Look at that. Hey, kids. The Boom is brought to you by the good folks at William Veely, attorney at law. Look at that. Located in the heart of downtown Norman. Specializing in immigration matters and available for all your legal needs. It's William Veely, the attorney at law that makes this absurd rubbish possible. So go by and introduce yourself, sit for a spell, and enjoy the wacky office antics of William Veely, attorney at law, located at 210 East Main Street, Suite 222, and that's 405-364-2525. Not to be confused with 364 Wine, W-I-N-E, at the Cellar. Another place that has agreed to, pardon me for the stutter here, we just have some, the bubble and the buzz of the boom is happening below, and that's just the life, that's the culture, that's the existence of all that is, primarily the kooky kids. There's a lot of kooky kids here at Boom U. They get nutty with their smartphones, they get kooky, they like to party all night. Apparently they listen to a lot of Tone Loc and Deep Purple. Oh, I suspect you could throw a little 38 Special their way, but only if it was from the movie Teachers. And by the way, we totally went past the 420 there, so I have to fucking pretend, because you can't miss these things. This is a contractual obligation to GMX. So at the, oh shit, we're at 420, so here goes the transparent barrel roll. Your head, and when you come out, motherfucker, you're looking at Norman High, Norman North played at the Boom U Stadium, which is unfucking believable. By the way, the $450 million modernization that was planned and announced a year ago has been modified to $160 million, about a $300 million haircut. Actually, that's $290 million haircut. Now, why did that happen? Pretty frickin' simple. There's even a quote to support it, and this is part of what we're trying to track here, because with the boom come the corrections, and here's a huge correction. In the course of a year, maybe a little over a year, oil decided to collapse from 110 a barrel to, shit, it got down to 38 bucks a barrel. It's up to 45 now. It's a bobber. It's just a bobber, kids. You're fishing. That's all you're doing. You're fishing for crappie. You might be bottom fishing. You might be fishing for walleye. You might be smallmouth bass fishing and throwing out a Rapala top water plug in the Mountain Fork River. I don't give a shit. But you're fishing because the barrel of oil is a fucking bobber. A bobber on the sea of consciousness. Below it, unconscious. Above it, consciousness. Because it is the perfect reflection of our behavior. At the end of the day, that dollar bill that's attached to the barrel is no different than a temperature. Don't judge it. Don't fight it. Don't deny it. It's a reflection of Mother Nature. In this case, it's a reflection of our demand for it. And it's a fucking amazingly accurate thing, which is why capitalism is probably the greatest form of governance, because it is absolutely the best reflection, the most accurate reflection of the human condition is capitalism. And so, you know, we're going to talk about accountability and trying to capture more free will. Let's do that. Let's call it that, kids. New therapy program. Instead of maturing, we call it capturing more free will. And we'll talk about it with the business leaders out there. Capturing more free will. Holy shit, if that's not a fucking slogan someone wants to use. I bet Apple would use that. Let's run an experiment here. It is actually 8 minutes and 7 seconds into this broadcast. This is, of course, Energy Boom 101, brought to you by the Transparent Barrel LLC, which, as we speak, has $3 in assets. That's completely liquid, and at any moment, I could fucking turn the market in European pork bellies if you want me to. They don't exist, by the way. So that's Norman North ahead. Capturing more free will is, I think, a slogan that I'm going to orally trademark right now, because I have this feeling it could really, really be good and applicable to branding. And this will be an interesting test case for intellectual property, because if someone does use it, and I hope someone does, and then they acknowledge that they got it from here, and we agree upon what intellectual property is worth. If you're going to play my song, what's it worth? I don't fucking know. But I'll tell you this, capturing more free will is a badass slogan, and it's no different than just do it. So it has value. Everyone knows it. It sets the tone for a brand, and branding's is a huge thing now, because it's an intellectual extension of who you are, of your company, of your product. Capitalism's pretty fucking amazing. It's a wicked game between the conscious and the unconscious mind, but I digress. We were talking about crude oil, which then turned into consciousness and capitalism, so I connected the dots of crude and consciousness. We need to get back to cannabis, and let's do that right now by letting you know that a part of the boom, of course, a part of this god-awful rag that no one would really want to read, but here's a great shot. Check this bitch out. Bip! Wicked shot. I'm leaking. This is open sourcing. I'm leaking and open sourcing the boom. You can see it in color there. It's also going to have plenty of stories about grass. This whole fucking page is about the 3 players. You got 3 big players in the game that's unfurling, and you won't believe who they are. It'll be so shocking you'll lose it. You'll probably just turn off the show if you haven't already. Bob Marley, Willie Nelson, and Snoop Dogg, and that's the most beautiful mofo alive. Snoop Dogg is the most beautiful mofo alive. I want him on this show so bad I can't stand it. Speaking of people I want on the show, if Alanis Morissette is out there anywhere in the universe, oh my God, you've got the Beelzeboomy behind you. Oh shit, there's 2 of them. Hang on, bitch. 3, I'm going to talk between the bells to let you know the following. 4, this is an amazing, probably coincidence. 5, and if Alanis actually sees this, 6, she'll understand the absurdity of it. 7, and she'll actually come out here on this show. 8, and I'll pick her up at the airport. I'll have to rent a car. 8 bells, and 8 fucking bells, baby, of boom you and ask not for whom they toll, and here come the chimes that follow. The important thing is, at 10 minutes and 39 seconds into the hour, you're here on the K-Rig show, K-R-I-G. Your mind went through the Mobius strip back at 4 minutes and 20 seconds into it, which actually happened at 5 minutes and 50 seconds into it, but I had to cover my ass. But now the real world time tells you that it's 10 minutes and 57 seconds into it. You've gone through the transparent barrel roll. Your mind's gone through the Mobius strip. You've gone from video, 3, 2, 1, works every time in Vegas, to audio, podcast. This is eventually going to be a podcast. And we eventually want to set up and do a Sunday show every Sunday at the Sooner Theater. And just like a Garrison Keillor kind of old-time TV show, and we'll shoot from the fucking hip completely. But it'll be fun, and we'll do it eventually. In the meantime, you're on K-Rig, K-R-I-G. This is our podcast about connecting crude, cannabis, and consciousness. We've talked about crude. We've talked about the big stories. By the way, Warren Buffett's taken a big stake in Phillips 66, which is wicked as shit because they were founded in Oklahoma, motherfucker. And Carl Icahn has taken a big stake in Cheniere Energy. I don't even know if it's pronounced Cheniere. That's what's awful. I don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about, which is scary. But that has happened, though. It's all public record. So it looks like, you know, the very, very, very smart money thinks that there's still quite an energy boom to play out. We've reviewed, please watch the previous dispatch to hear my thoughts, which don't mean a fucking thing, about why Warren Buffett may have taken his position in Phillips 66, the refinery. Because they don't make their money from oil prices going up. They actually make their money when oil prices go down, because that's their feedstock they buy to refine out these glorious little products that they can sell all over the world for a premium. It's like buying, oh, I hate to say this. It's like buying affordable, it's like, here's what it is. It's like you get really good scotch, and suddenly the price of it drops like a motherfucker. You don't know why. Maybe all the fucking Scots are making too much of their own fucking scotch. But guess what? It's still great shit. You just now get to buy it. Instead of $110 a bottle, it's $40 a bottle. And you're going to buy a shitload of it. And some of you are going to store it. And some of you are going to enjoy it and drink it. And some of you are going to reinvest it. And some of you are going to try and get laid on it, I hope. But here's the deal. At 13 minutes into the hour here on K-Rig, that scotch is so much more affordable for you to get whatever your end result is that you have this enormous profit margin, whether it's financial or emotional. And with Phillips 66, they refine out these products, all these different things you hear about. I've heard about them, I can't repeat them. I think it's like kerosene and ethylene. They're called refined products. I don't, you know, it's a fucking rainbow. But they make a lot of fucking money when they sell them overseas. By the way, in the background, it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers. So I think we've done a pretty good job of getting it right up to almost 15 minutes before we have to shut it down. The attorneys at GMX have said that if you go longer than that, they will sue me again for advising that all my clients mortgage their house, mortgage their farm, mortgage everything they have, and put it in GMX when it was at $1 a share, because then on, of course, April 1st of 2013, by the way, I'm obliged by law to repeat this statement. It's like the, it's self-flagellation, I suspect. But GMX says that wrap it up in 15 minutes or we're going to make you fucking invest in us again. So at 14 minutes and 6 seconds into it, I feel really good about taking you through a quick journey of crude, cannabis, and consciousness. And the boom will hit the streets probably in a week. And I hope more than 11 people watch this show eventually, because then we can actually bring it to the Sooner Theater and just keep it nice and cozy and never really ever do anything that's in a rush. It ain't no rush, but that's it. So peace out, and you're beautiful. 3, 2, 1, boom.